the leader of the National Party actually raised an amendment to try and cancel it. The National Party represents many farmers, Queensland, lots of a big agricultural area, a very heavy gun area. And so we did see him try and block this, but certainly he lost overwhelmingly. I think it was something like 88 votes in favour, 13 against. So that has gone through. When it comes to the hate speech bill, we are hearing relatively vocal opposition. And just in the last 5 minutes or so, we've heard from the Liberal Party, which is the main opposition party, saying they will back this bill. Now, they had really heavily criticised Anthony Albanese in the wake of the terrorist attack, saying that he hadn't followed through on the recommendations made by a government-commissioned report into how to combat what was seen as rising anti-Semitism in Australia. So they have, I guess, in the final hour, the 11th hour, said that they will be supporting this bill. There was a lot of question over the weekend as to whether or not they would, some saying that it was hypocritical if they didn't, considering the level of criticism raised. But we have also just heard in the last couple of minutes as well from the head of the National Party, that party that I mentioned that opposed the original bill, and he has called for, Bob Katter has called for migrants from North Africa and the Middle East to be banned entirely. So certainly a very contentious conversation going on in Parliament here in Australia right now.
Yeah, a lot of emotions stirred by that terrible attack. A lot of grief. We saw that, wasn't that long ago. Generally speaking, how are people doing in the few weeks after the attack?
Well, here in Sydney, I would say there is still very much a reckoning going on. People are shocked. Bondi Beach, of course, an iconic part of Sydney. People would be visiting there very regularly. I was there 24 hours prior to the attack. So I think there is definitely a sense of insecurity. Of course, Christmas and New Year's and all of those sorts of things perhaps put it on the back burner, but this emergency parliament sitting is definitely putting it at the forefront of people's minds again. And a community still very much reeling from it is the Jewish community, who felt supremely angry, as you can imagine, feeling that the government hadn't done enough to combat those threats, and now wanting to see concrete resolution, particularly when it comes to these hate speech laws, when it comes to what they have said was a rising anti-Semitic sentiment. So that is certainly a feeling here in Sydney. But yeah, people still very much feeling the pain. And we understand as well on Thursday there is going to be a National Day of Remembrance to commemorate the fact that it is just over 1 month since this horrific event.
Katie Silver, live in Sydney. Thank you.